He does everything wrong socially, yet somehow still pulls people in effortlessly. So how does he do it? Today, you'll understand the key to being naturally attractive like Ayanokoji. Attraction is something people think they fully understand. They think it's confidence, looks, or knowing the right things to say. So they focus on improving those things like that's the main answer. But most people don't realize something deeper. Attraction isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you depend on from others. And the moment you start needing attention, approval, or validation, you start losing influence without even noticing it. That's where most people go wrong because they're not building attraction, they're chasing it.
My brothers and sisters, if you're confused about your relationship or keep repeating the same patterns, this is for you. Most people don't lack efforts. They lack clarity. I offer private relationship clarity sessions where we break down how you operate in relationships under attraction, stress, and commitment. I use psychology and structured pattern frameworks to identify blind spots, tension points, and decision traps where you stop guessing and start seeing what's actually going on. This isn't therapy, and it's not about predicting outcomes. It's about understanding your pattern and choosing your next move with confidence, whether that's dating smarter, fixing a relationship, or deciding to walk away. If you want clarity instead of confusion, the link's in my bio.
And the more you chase it, the more it slips away. And Ayanokoji doesn't fix that by trying harder. He steps outside of that system completely. Because instead of chasing attention, approval, or emotional reactions, he stays in a state where none of that has control over how he moves. Ayanokoji doesn't act social the way most people expect. He doesn't try to lead conversations. He observes them. In groups, he's rarely the one pushing energy or trying to stand out. He lets people talk. He lets silence exist. He only speaks when there's actually something worth saying. Not to be noticed, but because it matters. And because of that, people start paying attention to him without him asking for it. Another thing he does is he never overreacts emotionally. Most people try to build personality through reactions, laughing louder, agreeing faster, reacting bigger. Ayanokoji doesn't do that. He stays controlled, not cold, unreadable, and that unreadability creates curiosity because people can't easily place him. There are also moments where he doesn't compete for attention at all. Even when he's clearly the most capable person in the room, he doesn't prove it unless he has to. He allows others to think they're ahead, and that shifts the dynamic completely. Instead of being ignored, he becomes someone people try to understand. And lastly, he never forces connections. If it happens naturally. If it doesn't, he lets it go. So when he does engage with someone, it feels intentional, not needy. And the difference changes everything. And you can actually see this pattern in the people around him because he doesn't change how he acts for anyone. Each person ends up reacting to him differently. Kai starts off depending on him for safety and control, and that slowly turns into attachment. Suzune sees him as just useful at first, but over time begins to recognize depth she didn't expect. Hanomi feels a sense of safety around him. She can't fully explain. Sakanagi doesn't treat him like a normal person. She sees him as someone worth understanding. Even Sakura is affected in a quieter, more emotional way. But what's consistent across all of them is this. None of them are chased. None of them are forced. And yet all of them are influenced because he doesn't pursue attention and attention still forms around him. What most people don't realize is attraction isn't created by effort. It's created by perception. People don't get drawn in because someone tries hard to be liked. They get drawn in because they can't fully read that person. When someone is calm, controlled, and not emotionally reactive, it creates uncertainty. And the brain naturally tries to resolve uncertainty, so it pays attention and fills in the gaps. If someone is too open, too expressive, too available, there's nothing left to figure out. So interest fades quickly. But when someone doesn't reveal everything, they stay mentally present in people's minds, even when they're not there. There's another layer to this. When you don't chase attention or validation, you signal that you don't need it. And that changes perception because things don't feel needed and start to feel more rare. And people are naturally drawn to what feels rare or hard to access. Not because it's better, but because it feels more meaningful to obtain. That's why Ayanokoji behavior works. It's not performance, it's absence of need. And that alone changes how people respond to him before he even speaks. Ayanokoji isn't emotionless, he's just not controlled by emotion. There's a difference between the moment you try to look detached or act mysterious. You're still performing for attention, and that defeats the whole point. This is more about awareness than personality, not overreacting when things don't go your way, not chasing every interaction for validation, not forcing your presence just to be seen. Because real attraction doesn't come from trying to stand out. It comes from not needing to. So instead of trying to be interesting, stop forcing your presence. Observe more than you react. Let silence exist without discomfort, and allow people to come to you naturally instead of chasing them. That's what creates the same effect people see in Ayanokoji. Not manipulation, not acting differently, just removing the need to be seen. At the end of the day, Ayanokoji isn't attractive because he's trying to be. It's the opposite. He doesn't rely on attention, validation, or emotional reactions to move through situations. And that changes how people perceive him. Because when you stop trying to control how others see you, you naturally become harder to ignore. Not because you're doing more, but because you're no longer moving from need. And that's the real shift. Not becoming someone else, but removing the parts of you that chases too much. If you made it to the end of this video, hit that subscribe button and click the like button. Do you think you can become attractive like Ayanokoji? Comment your thoughts below.